Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I'm back with another review. And today I got something kind of fun, kind of cool to check out. We are looking at from the Transformers Earthspark line. This is Spin Changer Optimus Prime with Robbie Malto and Spin Changer Bumblebee with Mo Malto. Now, the gimmick as I first thought, as it was explained, was that the figurines, these are static figurines, would um, trigger the transformation from vehicle to robot. That's not entirely true. Basically, you do have to do some of the manual transformation, and then the figurine can take over. But in the case of Optimus Prime, let me just tell you that I don't know if mine is defective or there's something going on, but there's no way to trigger the spin transformation when you're going from vehicle mode, because when you're transforming it from robot to vehicle, and I'll explain this more when we look at the figure, it it releases the catch or the twist. Now, the other thing I find a little odd is that Robbie and Mo, if you've seen the cartoon, and you really only need to see the first episode, they are shown as being friends with the new Earth created Transformers, Twitch, and the other one that turns into a motorcycle. So I find it kind of odd that they're included with Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. Personally, I think this is a decree from retailers that they want the primary human cast with the established Autobots that they know that can sell, which is, of course, Optimus Prime and Bumblebee, and that has been like that since the first movies really reestablished the brand. I got these from Amazon, and what's really cool is you can search for Earthspark now and find these figures. The other figures, such as Deluxe Twitch and Deluxe Bumblebee and Deluxe Megatron, are no longer listed with their code names, so they should show up. It's just, the usual Amazon search where you may not get exactly what you're looking for right away, but you'll get there eventually. So we'll pause and we'll take a look at Optimus Prime. Okay, so here's Optimus with Robbie, and we're starting off in vehicle mode so I can demonstrate how Robbie will ride on the back of Optimus. So you flip that panel down, there's a little port there. Usually that panel can flip up. Nice figurine. I mean, that's a nice representation. You figure now that everything's CGI, it's CGI to CAD, so not a lot of change in difference. And if you notice here on the front of Optimus Prime, there's a little bit of a shield here. So that can actually clip onto Robbie's arm, so he has a bit of a shield. And unlike his sister, the added weapon doesn't make him lopsided. So we're just going to put these two aside for the moment and focus on Optimus Prime. Nice rolling car. So how about we get into the transformation? First thing you want to do is bring the legs down. And the legs, there's slots here, tabs in the arm. I mean, I'm going to go back and forth, but I'm just pointing that out. Then what you want to do is unpeg the arms from the front here and just bring them out to the side and bring them straight down. Remember this panel back here, so you want to unpeg it now and then continue pegging it up. And you're just going to loosen it up here because you want to make sure you get that double hinge and all that ready. Because what you want to do is slide the front of the truck up, and basically you see those two little nubs right there. They're going to sit there while all of this flips over, and the tab right there on that gray panel is going to tab in to the front of the grill where the shield was. Now, this is where things get interesting. right now, technically, the torso is unlocked. And if I was, and if we were going to activate the gimmick, this is where I would bring Robbie in. And in fact, let me do that. Basically, there's a hole here in the shoulder with a button. So if you don't have the figure, you just press the button. And you can see the arms spring open and the head pops up. Well, here's the problem. Where's the spinning? Let me show you how to do it. First, you want to rotate Optimus Prime's torso around until it kind of stops, but I just heard that little click, and that kind of tells me that it kind of skipped there, so the gear skipped. So now it's set. Put the head down, fold the arms up. Again, you want to make sure that catch right there is up. If we bring it down, and let me tell you, it's a lot easier to do this on Bumblebee than on Prime. The torso is now locked, and it won't spin. So you want to make sure that's up. And now we bring Robbie, and make sure you plop him in good. There goes Optimus Prime. And of course, there also went Robbie. But you know what? Seeing as how what parents are going to let their children hang around with giant transforming robots of war. Now, if you have the shield, it can peg into the forearm here. And for articulation, Optimus can bend its elbows, but that's more because of the transformation and stuff like that. And if you don't mind, I'm just going to remove that shield because that shield is utterly useless. That's bringing up like a butter knife to a gunfight. So, but as you saw, the spin gimmick had to be set in robot mode. Now, we're going to transform Optimus Prime back because this is about it for robot mode. My big issue, that face, that head, that faceplate is just too high. On the cartoon it looks fine, but in the two Optimus Prime figures I have, this and the Warrior Class one, it doesn't. We're going to transform Optimus back, and I want you guys to listen to what's going on. So first, we're going to rotate Prime at the torso here. Now it's set, and that's all you have to rotate it. Push the head down, fold the arms up. What is nice is you don't really have to worry about the gimmick triggering accidentally and things spinning out in your hand like some of the other Cyberverse toys we've looked at in the past. What you want to do now is fold the elbows up, and you're kind of folding them backwards. And we're going to leave that for now. Come around to the paneling here, fold all this back. We're going to unpeg it, set it. The flap here pegs into the torso, and what you want to do is also get it in the that panel here is going to peg into the arms, and then this whole thing will just come down and securely peg in there, peg in there. This will now allow you to bring the front grille down, and now you just fold the arms up. There's a big old tab there and a slot there. So just like that. Just like that. Now listen. I'm going to bring the legs up one at a time. And I want you to hear what's going to happen. Did you hear that right there? That was the sound of the catch being released on the gear or the spring. I don't know what controls the transformation in Optimus's torso. I'm going to bring up the other leg, and there you go. It doesn't matter which leg you do first. It doesn't matter if you do them both at the same time. There is nothing. I see nothing here on the legs or on the waist that it can trigger a button underneath here. I just don't see it. I've tried both legs at the same time. I've tried the opposite legs first. I've tried doing this with the lock down and then releasing it. Every time you bring the leg up, if Optimus's torso is twisted, it releases the catch. So I don't know if that's an intentional part of the transformation. I don't know if it's a mistake, but what I can tell you is it kind of loses out on that final step of the transformation for the spin gimmick. And just to add the shield, the big tab goes in the slot in the bottom and covers up that other slot there. So there we have Optimus back in its truck mode. And of course, you can add Robbie back on. And as you can also see, that when it does spin, if you don't have the figure secured tightly, you end up, the figure goes flying, which can be fun. And as we'll see in the case with Mo, might be a little close to the character's gimmick. But yeah, I really don't know what's going on with Prime and why that happens. And it feels like part of the play pattern is being lost because of it. If you're going to store the figure in vehicle mode for a while, I do recommend not leaving it wound up, because that can put pressure on the spring and or gears that they would loosen and over time, and the gimmick would stop working. So we'll pause and we'll take a look at Bumblebee. All right, so here's Bumblebee with Mo. And I'll just tell you right now, Bumblebee's a little bit better than Optimus Prime. I haven't had any issues with the spin and the gimmick. Mo pegs in a little slot here in the back. It's going to be constantly open. I would say Mo over her brother is a bit more the star of the show, just because of her involvement with the Terran Autobots. But nice little figurine. Giant slot in the back, and that's because if we come back here and remove Bumblebee's spoiler, that pegs in the middle, but also it has, like, there's two slots on each wing. There's a peg on each tab on each wing that sit into slots here, and then there's the big slot there in the middle. You can come in, and this will form a wing pack for Mo. Problem is, it's not going to do it now. I've had issues where Mo was falling over because the wing pack screwed up the balance of the figure. But let's move Mo out of the way. And we're going to transform Bumblebee. Now, I do have the catch open here, the lock open, so and the spin is set. So I will show how, what it looks like with the lock down. First thing you want to do is come in and flip up the tail lights, and it does help if you have nails. Next, what you want to do is fold out the, no. You want to come in on the sides here, fold open these side panels and peg them in over the wheels, and then flip up the legs, just like so. Make sure those tail lights are back a little, because as soon as you bring the knees up like this, you're going to go ahead and peg the tail lights into those slots there, which will secure the legs in place. And unlike Optimus Prime, the legs here, one big block. To finish the transformation, you want to separate the top of the car here, bring it, bring it down. It will click into place. Bumblebee's head likes to pop up. You then want to rotate the side panels. This little half square detent is going to sit on the tab there. It will snap into place. And there you go. So now we can bring in Mo to finish the transformation. And just so you're aware, instead of a button, it's a tab. And that this will spin Bumblebee around. The head will pop up. The arms flip down. So to finish that off, bring them forward. Pull the forearms down until they slot into place. Now, you did see Mo come flying off. I think if you don't have the wing pack on, she'll be a little more secure. So with this wing pack, it does become a handheld weapon for Bumblebee. Unfortunately, Bumblebee has no elbows or forward arm movement, so it doesn't really work. You can bring it around the back here. It can peg in there. This is the tab that will lock the torso in place. If you want to, that's what it looks like folded down. Torso is locked. Bring it up. Torso can move. So, locked. Free. And it is a little bit tighter than Optimus Prime, but it's a lot easier to access than Optimus Prime's. And then finally, if you want to bring the wing pack down here, there are little grooves here where those side tabs can sit, and you can store it down there. Frankly, I would leave it on Mo because it kind of looks cool on Mo. Now, to reset the spin gimmick, push the forearms up, just like so. Bring the arms back. They're going to clip into place on these black tabs there on the underside. Push Bumblebee's head down. Rotate the torso. Oh, you might actually want to rotate the torso first before you click everything into place. On Optimus Prime, you can click everything first. On Bumblebee, you might want to wait. And now we're going to try pegging Mo in, see if we can get her to not fly off. And it worked. And there you go. And Bumblebee spins out, and then of course, bring the arms down, bring them forward, and there you have, Bumblebee and Mo. Oh, Mo's a little out of shot. There she is. Just move that, unpeg her, put the backpack back on her. Well, actually, we're going to leave the backpack off since we're actually going to transform Bumblebee back. But nice little look here. I'm going to leave Bumblebee as he is. I'm not going to reset the spin gimmick for transformation back to vehicle mode. Again, if you're going to have the figure in vehicle mode for a bit of time, you might want to just let it ride. Don't leave the spin gimmick engaged, so you don't put any pressure or strain on anything. So, again, let's push the forearms up, or push Bumblebee's head down first. Come around the back here and then push the forearms up, click them into place there, and then rotate these shoulder pads up off of those hooks. And yes, Bumblebee's head did pop up. He likes to do that. Unhook it from the back section there, and then you just peg that section together. And there, you got the front grille, and boy, Bumblebee's head likes to pop up. This pegs together quite nicely. Next, what you want to do is unpeg the kneecaps, which were those backlights, and they're not going to go too far forward. Don't try to fold them all the way down. You just need enough clearance to have them unpeg. Fold the legs up and around. Pop the head up as you're doing that. Fold these side panels around. They will peg into tab here, tab under the door, tab. There you go. Nice little squeeze. And then the coup de grace is you're going to push down on these taillights and get them to peg into place. I got to tell you, the first couple times I transformed it, I wasn't sure if these taillights were going to go down all the way, but you just got to give them a little force. And yeah, I did notice that my figure came with a little smudge of black there, but I'm not worried about it. And then to finish it off, that central peg goes there, and the other two will just sit, and then you can put Mo back in her spot. So car rolls. It's very nice. I like Bumblebee, as I said, a bit more than Optimus Prime. I think because the gimmick works more. You're not buying these figures for giant articulated versions of Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. It's all about the gimmick. So what we'll do now is we'll pause, and I'll come back with my final thoughts. Okay, now as I was saying there at the end, you're not buying these figures for articulated, intricate transformations or even fun transformations. The transformation is very simple. You're buying these for the gimmick. And the gimmick is that spin to finish the transformation at the end. The arms spring out, the heads pop up, that type of thing. Now, assuming my Optimus Prime is not defective or something's going on, clearly there's something in the design that alters the spin gimmick. And for that alone, I would say pick up Bumblebee first. And maybe not grab Optimus at all, since these are roughly Voyager priced figures. If it's just my figure, then I think Optimus Prime ends up being a little bit better because once the spinning is done, that's it. The figure's ready to rock and roll. With Bumblebee, you have to do that final steps with swinging the arms forward and pulling them down. And Optimus Prime, let's not forget, he at least has an elbow bend, so there is some play or action to the figure. But again, I have to stress, these are gimmick toys. Their sole existence is to be the gimmick. I mean, the feet don't even fold up on Prime. These toys live and die by the gimmick. And also, as I mentioned in the beginning, I do find it a little odd, but understandable, that the primary human characters come with characters who, frankly, with toy versions of characters who, frankly, if you watch the cartoon, are really secondary now. It's Twitch and the other Terran robot who are the primaries with the humans. But as we all know, Bumblebee and Optimus sells, so I expect every gimmick, every size version of Earthspark toys to feature a Bumblebee and Optimus Prime. So I'll say it again, my overall recommendation, assuming my Optimus Prime is not defective, Bumblebee, the spin gimmick works better, and seeing as how these toys are based on are strictly gimmick based, pick up Bumblebee. If it's and then maybe later on grab Optimus on sale just to have the complete set if you're that big of an Optimus fan. That's about it for the review. If you like this review, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. While I will always appreciate the views, the likes, comments, and subscriptions help to communicate to YouTube through the algorithms that my channel should be exalted and held upon high. If you want to make the ultimate sign of support, I do have a Patreon. It is www.patreon.com/ChuckDog1999. All I ask for is $1 a month or $12 a year. No thrills, no tiers, no special rewards. All you're doing is helping me help you bring figures like Optimus Prime and Bumblebee to you while keeping up the infrastructure of the channel. But as I always say, I understand now we're on the cusp of a recession, there's inflation, the dollar doesn't go as far as it used to. If you really can't do the $1 a month or $12 a year, you do you first. I'll be fine. Patreon is always a cherry on top of an already generous sundae. That's about it for the review. This is your old pal Chuck for Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. We will see you next time.